Hey everyone, I am Jared Hall from Entertainment Weekly. Thank you so much for tuning in with us here on this Facebook Live. We are chatting today with the cast and one of the producers of Amazon Prime Video's Goliath. Season 2 is premiering this Friday, June 15th. So please welcome Billy Bob Thornton, Cara Delevigne. Did I get it right?
Perfect.
It sounds so much better when you say it.
Accent
I know,
was solid.
it was bad,
Solid.
bad, but I tried. Mark Duplass and Lawrence Trilling, you guys, thank you so much for being here. And I want to start with you because I would love for you to give us a little recap of season 1. Tell us how much time has passed as we pick up in season 2.
Great. Well, in season 1, Billy
Yes.
McBride, played by Billy Bob Thornton, is an attorney down on his luck who finds redemption in this case, taking on a big conspiracy in the military-industrial complex, starting out with an mysterious explosion on a boat, which is just the first layer as the onion peels into this very deep conspiracy, and he goes mano a mano with his old nemesis, Donald Cooperman, and then fireworks unfold.
Fireworks, that is
And it is a crazy case and a really deep character examination of a man who is facing his own demons, and really it's a show about corruption that is both on the institutional level and corruption down in the soul of each individual person, both the good guys and the bad guys wrestling with their souls.
Which is what I love in watching the show is that human aspect of it. You guys do it so well. Picking up, how much time has passed?
Probably about, we don't know exactly, maybe 6 months-ish, but we find that Billy, in spite of having won this huge case and having a lot of money in his pocket, is, again, back to the soul. His soul is not any healthier or happier in spite of money, which is weird because we thought before this that money does make you happy, but we learned that through Billy's journey that it doesn't.
Bought a nice house, not living in it.
Yeah.
Bought the car, trying to give it away.
Trying to give all his money away, still soul sick, still looking for meaning, and it turns out that his daughter and his work are the things that really give him meaning, and he finds some of that coming up against some very formidable obstacles in season 2.
You two, whew. We're going to get there in a minute, but it's some of the most fascinating characters I've seen on TV in a while. We'll get there. How many different options did you have for the Goliath for season 2? How did you settle on this drug cartel story?
It was kind of the simple thought of, okay, we did a civil trial in season 1, let's do a criminal trial. Just because we don't want Billy to be, prosecuting the same cases. So, okay, but if it's a criminal trial, and if thematically we were always talking about institutional corruption, we decided to pull the realms of politics and the drug cartels into our world of the criminal justice system, and seeing how these things all touch each other and corrupt each other.
Makes complete sense. Billy Bob, I've got to say, this character, he's on the surface, he's kind of a simple guy. I think he's a bit of a walking dichotomy, because then he's also so very layered and complicated. So where did you even begin peeling away those layers of the onion?
First of all, you look like Rob Lowe.
I'll take it. Not bad.
And,
Thank you.
It's weird.
I was going with Chad Lowe, but...
Oh, all right.
Kinda, yeah. I kind of play myself in it, to tell you the truth. And, normally, well, I think part of, if an actor is doing their job fully, they're always playing themselves in a way. Because if you don't, then you're kind of shortchanging yourself. Because if you pretend to be somebody, then you're kind of taking a step that may be unnecessary. So instead, it's like, okay, if you were this guy, let's say you just got hired. You're hired as an actor, just make like you got hired as a lawyer. And so I think part of the deal with this guy is that he has a very, he has views on justice and fairness that aren't necessarily in the rule book, that aren't the law. I mean, I think he loves the law. Like in the first season, I actually said that in one scene. I love the law, but sorry about my stomach.
Oh, is that what the grumbling going on back there?
Anyway, but they always pick up the trash at the wrong time.
They sure do.
But
That's one thing we didn't think of.
But one way or the other, it's like a guy who knows that fairness and actual justice, the way people feel it in their head and in their heart, isn't always necessarily the law, but you still need the law. Because if you didn't have the law, then, you know, it would be the old West here. So you got to make rules, and you got to kind of stick to them. So I feel that way in real life, so it wasn't too hard to, you know, roll that over into the character in the show.
And add to that, you're, you know, kind of, you have personal life stuff going on. Would you say he's a guy who's battling his demons, or he's like comfortably living with them?
I think he accepts his demons and does the best he can with them. It's like, okay, here's what I've got. Here's what's wrong with me. I know it's probably not going to change, but you know, I'm not saying people can't change. I'm sure that you know, you can join groups and things like that of you know, similar people and get over some things. But I think he's a guy who'd rather. I think his demons drive him, in other words. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think if you have some fire in you for whatever reason, I think you use it and try to use it in a positive way. It doesn't always work, but the times when it does work, you're even better than everybody else.
Makes sense. This Marisol, who her character is a Los Angeles mayoral candidate, but in some shady dealings, we might say, is a very simple way of putting it. When you get the script, you see the character, how much did you know at first about the long-term arc? Because as I've been watching and seeing more and more things come in, I'm like, it's so easy to see why you couldn't resist the character.
Actually, I didn't know much. It was, Larry kept it very secret from me, maybe on purpose, because that way I was finding out as we were shooting what my decisions were going to be, and I feel the same happened to the character. My character, I don't think, started thinking, you know, when she met Billy, oh, I'm going to do this to this person, or I'm going to fall in love or not fall in love. She, you know, she just started to make decisions one at a time, and that's how they kept it from me. Like every time I'm like, am I doing this? Like, is she taking? It was a surprise for me every time. And it was the first time I've worked that way, and I really liked it. Yeah, because nice. I feel like I didn't plan anything as an actress, and I don't think the character didn't plan anything either.
Good point, good point.
Yeah.
What have you gotten to do here with this character that you've not had the chance to play before?
Well, I've never had the chance to act with and to work with such amazing actors, to be honest. And so that was one of the best experience I've ever had as an actor. So that for me, you know, going on set, I had to really be prepared, and also they do improvise a lot. And
I was going to ask, because there's some scenes and I'm like, there's no way that could have been scripted. It was just so like natural, and especially some of the stuff between the two of you.
Right. And because it's not my first language, I don't know if you've noticed or not. But sometimes it's harder. I had to be, you know, better prepare and study.
They keep you on your toes.
Yes, they did a lot.
Yeah. Well, just the same as I love the scenes between the two of you. On the flip side, the stuff between the two of you, I just feel this thing when I'm watching Tom Wyatt. To me, I don't know. Can I call him like a living, walking WTF? Because I mean, he is weird, but in the most compelling, I can't stop watching kind of way. So bravo to you for that. But what were your thoughts when you first read him on the page?
Well, Larry and I had a conversation early about what this guy would be like and what he might do. And I remember you came into my office, and he had the look on his face that was like, I'm going to have to slowly pitch this to Mark over the course of 2 hours, what I want him to do. And he's going to turn down like half of it because the other half is just insane, and no one is going to do that. And after like 5 minutes, I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do all this stuff. Because it was fun, and it's out there, and it's a push. I think what's interesting to me about Tom is he's this sort of, you know, gazillionaire real estate developer guy, and he's obviously getting involved with politics because he's funding Marisol's campaign for mayor, and it sounds really great. But you know, he's got his eye on LA's skyline and making this huge thing, because like my personal choice is that he just has a really small penis, and so he's like trying to like compensate in some
Okay.
way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But there's a level, I think, of sociopathy to Tom, which was fun to dial up and dial down, which is, you know, we've all been that person in a room who shifts their personality 20% to win favor with someone, or maybe takes an argument just to try and win something. Tom is living on a extremely escalated version of that, and so it really means that anything's possible with a guy like that.
Yeah, such an unpredictability
Yeah.
to him and that's why I was saying I can't stop watching him. I mean, just even the fact, what the name of the boat, because the character's name is Tom Wyatt. Wyatt's good to be me. I'm like,
Listen.
is it good to be him though? Is it good to be him?
Yeah, well, you know, it's good to play him in a television show. That was really good. But I think that, you know, as Larry was saying, Billy's got his sort of, you know, inner demons, and he's learning to wrestle with them. I think Tom Wyatt is 20 years behind in that emotional involvement, but he's also in a place where he's got tons of money, tons of power, and he's in that seat while he's figuring out who he wants to be and what he's going to become. So I think in that way he's quite explosive and pretty dangerous.
How much of were all 8 episodes scripted, written before you went into production? Because I'm wondering if once you see these two together, once you see those two together, how much do things change in terms of allowing those dynamics to play out more?
Well, when you saw my abs, that was a huge
about
that was a huge rewrite.
Abs and tush.
Abs and tush.
Incredible
Yes.
tush.
Yeah.
So it's kind of somewhere in between the two. We get started with a few scripts and a general shape and arc for the season. We kind of know what we're going to be aiming for, but we really like to be able to see how these interactions evolve on camera, and we're very much informed by what they do. With a character like Billy, we'd already had a season with him. We had a stronger sense of his voice and know what Billy, you know, in our dialogue with each other, found a common language of what we thought Billy would and wouldn't do. But in the case of Anna and Mark, you know, they're finding their characters, and so are we, with what we're giving them and what they're giving us back. So that there's definitely a dialogue going back and forth that continued. So we had a shape, but it kept filling in and getting richer as we went.
Well, and especially scenes between with you and Nina Arianda. I mean, you have a season 1 history as well. There's some of my favorite scenes as well. That the banter between the two of you is just dynamic.
The banter between us off the set is about the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So one influences the other.
Yeah, she's a very funny girl and very talented, and she's actually the one who we helped each other a little bit with our character history. I went the opposite from Mark. I actually went with in my character history, the big penis in a small car.
Oh yes, right. Yeah.
So and Nina helped me come up with that. But anyway, she's very easy to be around and to work with. I mean, she just kind of fits, you know, right in, and it's also good because she's so hyper, and I'm a little more sort of drunk, maybe I guess you'd say. So I think it's an interesting contrast, and yet you can still tell they like each other, you know, even though they would never probably say it to each other. But,
Yes, you're right about that.
Yeah.
In case you folks watching didn't know, this guy won the Golden Globe for his season 1 performance. What did that mean to you?
Well, you know, I'd been nominated for the Golden Globe a jillion times and never won one. And I started thinking, are they messing with me? Am I being punked? What is this? And then so I got it for Fargo, and I thought, well, you know, now I'll be nominated another 12 times, and you know, when right after that I got it for this. So I thought that was really cool. I mean, anytime you get recognized for something, you know, and you. And plus, I don't know if you ever watched Columbo, but the murder weapon was always on the mantle, and it was usually something that looked kind of like a Golden Globe. So
What are you saying?
I feel safer at home.
Oh, okay.
You know, if there's an intruder, but I actually, you know, I was really honored. I mean, people say you don't do it for awards, and you don't do it for awards, you know. But in this case, I kind of felt like, you know, it was for the team in a way, you know. I mean, when you're the main guy, sometimes, you know, you get things that you rely on so many people, you know. And Larry, you know, is my close partner in this and everything. So when you're honored with something like that, you feel like, well, you know what, that's Anna's, and it's Mark's, and it's Larry's, and Nina's, and everybody's, you know, and so it makes you feel good.
Yeah, well, the show, I don't want to say the show is a feel-good, but there is something great about watching it. I was telling you before that I have very visceral reactions watching. I'm like yelling at the screen, like, come on, do this, or no, don't you dare do that, Marisol. And it's, so that for me is a sign of good product, good storytelling, good acting, and congratulations to all of you on it. Please watch season 2, June 15th, Amazon Prime Video. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
you.
Rob.
Yeah, thanks. And thank you for watching.